All right, let's break the seal, Josh.
Da-na-na-na.
First episode recorded here, live on the marketplace floor at 2026 Forrester B2B Summit, right by the Giant Boot. This is the most exciting part about
The
where
Giant
place
Boot is
this year.
iconic.
The Giant Boot has been in this convention center for as long as I've been coming here.
The convention center was built around the Giant Boot.
The Giant Boot was
heard.
here to start, right?
That's
That
right.
is an ancient artifact from long ago, back when giants roamed the land. That's an actual boot from one of the Titans. And it's still here, which is incredible. I wish it was a little bigger. The Forrester folks are like, "Is it okay that you're next to the boot?" I said, "You should make it bigger."
They should make it bigger every year.
I want to be able to see it from all the way over on the other side
That's right.
of the show floor. That would be way more exciting.
When
But,
we're all gone, the boot will remain.
the boot will be here. I think they just it's probably cemented in there. I don't think you can move the boot. The boot is now part of this. For those of you listening to this, our podcast is audio only if we're not doing LinkedIn Live. I wish you could see the boot. We'll probably take a picture of the boot. We'll
Theater of the mind.
Yeah,
The
theater of the
boot,
mind. It's
yeah.
a giant. It literally is like a
we'll do a little
15-foot
selfie.
tall boot. But we're not here to talk about boots, Josh. I'm not sure what we're here to talk about, but we're here.
Let's talk about something.
Josh Baez, who is, my notes say senior manager, not so much, newly minted director of demand generation for
Ooh,
Netline.
it's so new. It's so fresh.
It sounds so nice.
It sounds so nice.
Josh Baez, thanks for joining us here.
Oh, I love to be here, Matt.
This is fun. This conference is one that I look forward to every year. It's kind of like B2B reunion. I used to call it B2B prom back when it was Serious Decisions, because they would literally have like the green tie gala, and everyone would get dressed up and sort of go and sort of they have a banquet. Like, who does banquets anymore? But they used to have a banquet. Not banquet. They got a band, so there's a band tomorrow.
The Fray.
This is pretty cool.
But it's not the lead singer anymore.
Really?
Yeah, he left.
Oh, where'd he go?
I think he went he's doing some solo
Can we make
stuff.
some calls?
That's right.
Like
we
make a
should.
little surprise, get him back. Oh man, they do a good job. Shout out to Forrester for putting together a good experience. When you come to learn a lot, learn from your peers, see some good vendors. I think a couple of years ago they had Gary Clark Jr.
Oh, that was fun.
That was such a good show. Excited for the next couple of days. We have over 20 guests signed up to interview here at Sales Pipeline Radio. We're live next to the Giant Boot. Excited to start with Josh Baez. Josh, there's so many things we can cover today. Maybe first just a little bit about what you've been thinking about lately, what you've been doing.
Yeah, so I'm the director of demand generation at a company called Netline. For those of us who may not be aware of who Netline is, we do programmatic lead gen and content syndication. So essentially enabling our customers to get their content out in front of their buyers in the trusted research libraries, research publications, where they are spending a lot of their time. So a lot of what I've been thinking about recently is how the heck do I get more pipeline out of the demand gen work that I do? It's not getting any easier these days, is it?
No, it is not. All the data I see says that conversion rates are going down, sales cycles are going longer, buying journeys are getting bigger, which actually I think, from a content consumption standpoint, it actually is a good news for those that are able to focus on signals and triggers and look for ways to engage prospects beyond the quote unquote traditional lead gen. Right?
Yeah.
We're way past the day where you put up a form, you have someone fill out for a white paper, you have a 22-year-old call them 4 times a day until they actually acquiesce to a meeting. Much more interesting to let the buyer lead. And I think there's a level to which I think the content game and content consumption becomes a very interesting buyer enablement story, which reduces the friction between you as a brand and seller and what the buyers are trying to do. Talk a little bit about what that means and how companies can lean into that.
Yeah, I think it is. It's honestly probably a really exciting time, in my opinion, to be in B2B marketing right now because of all of these things that are being measured consistently, right? You have conversion rates, you have pipeline goals, you have SQLs, opportunities, all of this stuff that gets measured to death.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because that stuff is becoming so hard, you really need to kind of pull back and focus more on the brand story. I think that we're starting to see a lot of companies go back to, good old fashioned brand marketing, programmatic display, things around how do you reach those buyers much earlier, even pre-funnel? How are you shaping those decisions before they end up in someone's shortlist? We have a lot of research on that. I think it was something 86% of buyers already start any decision-making process with a shortlist, and I think it was 92% end up deciding from that short list. So
Mhm.
whatever you can do to, whether it's content, whether it's brand, whether it's like things like being here at the Forester Summit, like there's a lot of things that I think are being re-looked at with a new lens.
Well, I think we can get really pessimistic about like what people do and don't do with content. We assume, oh, they download the white paper, they never read it. That's actually not true. Like the average buyer spends more than 30 hours like consuming content that they've already requested. And I think sometimes we also think, well, it's only junior people that are downloading content and reading content. No, like C-suite registrations on Netline have jumped 27% year over year. So talk about the decision makers, the senior decision makers, and how content consumption is still needs to be at the forefront of how people engage with that audience.
Yeah. So every year, Netline has this content consumption report. It's basically taking all of the signals that are on the Netline platform and consolidating it into something that, where we can see trends. This year, we saw there was around 7 million buying interactions happening on the Netline platform. We saw from that on average, it takes around 48 hours for a user of any background, to basically register for a piece of content and then eventually open it. So you have 48 hours in between where someone may have downloaded your asset, but they haven't opened it yet. And then you haven't even factored into the time how long it takes for them to read it, and then how much longer it takes for them to actually digest that information. So what it comes down to for us is like, when you are having content these days, it's less about the act of filling out the form, and it needs to be about everything that you're doing pre, during, and after that form fill that really kind of makes or breaks whether or not that asset is going to be worth spending the time and money into.
People think content syndication, when they think about assets that they put out there, I think the white paper term gets plugged out all the time, right? Like the 4 to 5 page, here's my ideas. Okay, fine. I think consistently one of the best formats is a playbook, right? Not just ideas, not frameworks, but like how do you actually do this? That same report you mentioned, the content consumption gaps, that shows that the playbooks are more than twice as likely to drive purchase intent versus the average piece of content. Why does the playbook format work so well as a buying signal?
Oh, I mean, there's probably a lot of reasons. I think that something that we really look for when it comes to a playbook is, how do you actually get something done? Reading about ideas is all fun and good. It's great for when you're trying to find like inspiration for your next big thing. But a playbook actually like tells you like, here are the steps to get things done. Here is what has worked for other customers in the past. Maybe it can work for you too. I think especially in an age where AI is so prevalent in how people research, like it's table stakes now. But you still need like actionable things to be able to just tell you like, here are the steps to get something done right now.
We're live on the Forester B2B Summit floor next to the giant boot with our first guest on Sales Platform Radio this year here. Josh Bai is the Director of Demand Gen at Netline. You've talked about the difference between what technology is accelerating and some of the evergreen components of the buying journey. Specifically that, the AI is accelerating buyer behaviors rather than creating new ones. Talk about the difference between the tool and the behavior and why that's so important.
Yeah, that's a fascinating question. For me, when I think about how AI has like impacted how people make decisions, if anything, it's like revealed like how inconsistently we as humans like find and like search for answers. Like before you had to really kind of formulate like a really good like Google search.
Yeah.
And you have to have like, your quotation marks and like your citation and in order to find like some good answers. I mean, today I type in my Google search and then I put Reddit at the end.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like AI, it's like you can just like top of the dome into the mic. Like that is how people are trying to research now. And so I think if anything, it's like you and your content, like it needs to be a lot more accessible in that way. Otherwise, like AI is not going to pick it up. People aren't going to find it. They're not going to understand it like in the same way.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I think that, for those that are sleeping on Reddit in B2B, if you're sleeping on Reddit, it probably means you're old like me and don't really understand it very well. But the kids who are increasingly decision makers in all of your purchase processes,
that's right,
or all of your selling,
they're Reddit maxing.
They're Reddit maxing. Oh boy, get into things that terms we're gonna ban from CMO or from Sales Pipeline Radio. Maxing might be one of those. That's coming fairly soon. So some of you listening may know this. So Josh and I used to work together. He was an employee at Heinz Marketing for a while, and now he's a big shot and doing all kinds of amazing things. Speaking everywhere, publishing everywhere. It's pretty fun to watch. What do you feel about? I mean, given where you're at a lot of these events, where do you think the future of marketing lies? I think there's a lot of existential conversations people having about, creating an AI VP of marketing and how many of these are we going to have left to go before the robots take over? What's your prediction for where B2B marketing goes from here?
Oh man, we can really get existential with this, can't we?
Yeah. Feel free.
I mean, I think it's a really tough question, and it's a scary question too, because for one, I need a job. Yep. I don't want to be prophesizing myself out of a job. I have a wife and family back home. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. It's the way that AI has exploded onto the scene. It's caused a lot of fear, rightfully so. But I do think that come in a few years, it's going to be in the same way that kind of ABM, tech came onto the scene.
Yeah.
Where everyone, I think that you posted about this recently on LinkedIn, or maybe I saw a comment of yours, where in the same way that you had ABM strategists come in, mm-hmm. I think that your AI is going to have to become part of your workflow.
Yeah.
I don't believe that AI takes over jobs in the same way that it may influence and take over other industries.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it's going away.
Yeah.
If anything, it's how are you using it to heighten and improve your own processes?
Yeah. Boy, we could get as essential, or we could just get a little curmudgeon-y on this topic too. I think those that are saying AI is taking over marketing, and the marketing even's the CMO job, when they describe what they're taking over, it's a junior demand gen role.
I think you're not a good marketer.
It's a performance. Well, you could be good at performance marketing, but you go ask a company that's doing sort of enterprise sales with 12 to 18 month sales cycles. It's not just optimizing what the ads you're putting up on Facebook. I do think AI is going to replace average marketers.
Yeah,
I do think AI is going to get rid of the work that none of us really wanted to do in the first place. I have 20 dossiers that I'm using for these interviews that were started by Claude. I had to go in and fix a bunch of stuff, but my first job at a PR firm years ago was writing briefing books for road shows we would take clients on. No one writes those anymore.
I remember writing those briefs.
Yeah, right.
Back in the day for you, Matt.
It's a necessary part of the process still. But I don't need a person to do that, right? No. And so now, instead of me spending time on that, I can spend time actually talking to prospects and talking to clients and doing the things that I actually enjoy doing that actually give me fulfillment as well as further the business. So
if anything, I think that it's also making the need for these kinds of in-person and brand experiences that much more crucial. Because in a world where you're no longer defined by what you're creating necessarily, it's how are you making those relationships really stick?
Yeah.
Because that's all we got, man.
That is all we have. Well, on that note, let's wrap this one up. Josh, thank you so much for joining us. First episode, you set a high bar here. High bar next to the tall boot. Thanks for have a great rest of your conference. What do you got going next couple of days? We got the Fray coming up tomorrow, which is exciting.
But tonight, if you're listening to this, I don't know when this is going to air.
Not by tomorrow. Not by tonight.
All right. No. Well, I'm going to talk about it as if it is going to air now.
It was a wonderful event.
That's
my goodness, I had so much fun there.
Planetarium party at the Arizona Science Center. Oh man, we saw the dome lit up in all of its glory. But yeah, man.
What if that doesn't happen? Do we have to come back and edit this? Because I don't like editing.
No, man. It's going to happen. It's going to be great.
Okay, there's going to be a dome. There's going to be stars, fake stars.
I heard that the Fray might make an appearance.
The Fray might make an appearance. We might have athletes there.
That's right.
A Kardashian or four. We don't know. You don't know to find out.
You'll have to show up.
Even Josh doesn't know. It could be secrets.
I don't know anything.
No, none of us. We're all making this up. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining this episode. We'll be back for 19 more. We're just getting started.
We'll
see y'all next time.
Thank you.